What's up, you guys? Godzilla Fan Freaks coming at you today with another figure review, and today we are taking a look at the SH Figuarts Piccolo figure from Dragon Ball Z. Piccolo is one of my favorite characters, and I've been putting off getting this figure for a while. I wanted to get the exclusive San Diego Comic-Con version, but that one is just ridiculously, insanely priced, and even though Piccolo is one of my favorites, I'm not flushing out close to probably 250 to I've even seen $300 for that thing. So one of my local stores in town had the original release of the Piccolo figure from SH Figuarts for $40. So I was like, what the hell? And then I bought some pink paint and I painted his muscles pink instead of the yellow that they were. So here's take a look at the box. Very nice, front cover of the box, kind of like a pixelated picture of the face of the figure on the side there. Piccolo on the side, on the top, on the back side, there's all that mumbo jumbo and showing you that this was the original release of Piccolo, and then all your legal jargon and junk on the bottom. And then let's get on into the figure itself, and I'm going to go over his accessories or his extra pieces, if you will. So you have a kind of a different chest piece for the cape, depending on if you have his arms crossed or not. I believe this is for when they are not crossed. If you just have the normal arms on, so you have a little bit more hanging down cloth for the chest piece. Very nicely detailed and painted all the way around. You got two different head sculpts. You have actually three, considering the one that is already on, but you have a relaxed face, which is very nicely detailed and sculpted. The antennae are very nice. You got to be careful of the antenna on this figure. They're not necessarily hard. They do kind of have some give to them. They will bend a little bit, but you don't want to bend them too much because I believe that they probably will snap off or eventually break. So you have a relaxed face. Again, very nicely detailed and painted. And then you have an aggressive face, which is, again, very nicely detailed and painted. Antennae look nice, and you have the veins sticking out of the head sculpt that are etched in very nicely all the way around, not just on the front side, even on the back and whatnot. Just very, very nicely done. Then, of course, you have the sets of hands. You kind of have almost kind of like gripping, grappling, maybe even blast shooting hands. Very nicely detailed and painted. These also have kind of veins sticking out on the top part of the hands in this area. Kind of hard to see, but they are there. Fingers, nicely sculpted. Knuckles, very nicely, sculpted and detailed into the sculpt. Then you have opening hands, which are definitely, blast hands, or they're stopping blasts, or, kind of like, how Dragon Ball Z characters can use their ki to, like, push people with the force, in a way. So you got these very open hands, very nicely well done. Again, very nicely painted and detailed. And then you have, of course, the special beam cannon hand, where he's firing his special beam cannon. Very nicely painted and detailed, sculpted all the way around very nicely. You even got another vein sticking out in the top of the hand. Very nicely well done. And then, of course, the arms that I have detached from him are his, normal arms that have articulated joints, which, of course, you have elbow joints, and then, of course, the wrists are on a ball joint, or is it a peg system? I forget if it's a peg system or a ball joint, but I believe they're ball joints. But as you can see, my painting skills from yellow to pink. Let me know in the comments how you think I did. I think I did pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's not too sloppy either. Looks really well. And then, of course, you have the punching fist hands on these arms. Again, very nicely detailed and sculpted and painted from the company and from me. And now let's get on to the figure itself. Here is Piccolo. Awesome looking figure. I'm not really heavily into the SH Figuarts line. I'm more into the SH Figuarts Zero line for the Dragon Ball Z, getting the little statues and whatnot. But as far as these figures go, they're good. You know, they're kind of what you expect from the Tamashii line of articulated figures. Very nicely detailed. Articulation is great, and paint jobs are nice. And of course, whenever you do try to articulate stuff enough, pieces fall off. I'm pretty sure his arms that I have crossed on him will eventually fall off if I try to move them around too much. But this is what I have him positioned in on my shelf. I do like Piccolo with his turban and his whole cape and shoulder armor outfit look on. To me, it just looks a lot more awesome. And I'll probably switch it up over time, but for now, this is the way I have him sitting on my shelf, or standing, so to speak. But paint job, let's get into that right now. Paint job is really nice. Of course, for Piccolo's skin, he's green all the way around. Eyes are white with black pupils. His turban and his cloth, for his turban cloth and his cape cloth and whatnot, a very nice white with a little bit of like blue mixed in just to give it a little bit more definition. Excuse me. Very nicely well done. And then of course you got purple on the top of the turban. Of course his muscles were originally, his muscle patches or whatever you want to call those, were originally yellow because this is the first release, but I painted over them pink to resemble the anime more. And then of course his outfit is purple. His belt is red. I do know that the San Diego Comic-Con version is blue, like a bluish color, but the fact that it's red doesn't bother me all that much. It was more or less just his muscles on his arms that were bugging me. I don't really like the yellow look on Piccolo, so just going for that anime style accuracy, that's pretty much what I was going for. So the fact that the little belt around his waist isn't blue doesn't affect me all that much. It looks fine. But, very nice purple and red for his outfit. And then, of course, down to the feet, you can kind of see his ankles. You got a little bit of the green in there, and then where I painted over the yellow muscles with the pink. Kind of hard to see, though. And then, of course, you have, like, his shoes, which are a kind of a very light brown color with a little bit of black mixed in for the giving it a little more definition. So, paint job, very nice, very neat, and very cool. Stealing that from Diego Doom, since I just got done watching his review on the X Plus 30 centimeter Bachelor Larva. Awesome figure. Really sad I didn't pick that one up myself, but I just had other occupations at the time. I will be getting the gigantic 1962 Godzilla. Really excited about that. So, anyway, back on into this review. Detail, very nice. All the folds, creases, and everything in his outfit, his cape, and his turban, very nicely well done. Ears, very nicely well done. Face, sculpted beautifully. Arms, just very nicely etched in, all the detail and whatnot. Shoes, very nicely well done. And that's it about detail. Just kind of going over detail really quickly here. His head, for articulation, he can look left with the turban and cape on. He doesn't have that great a range of movement, but without it, he has more range of movement in the head. But you can get him to look left and right very easily. He can kind of look down, kind of look up. Again, kind of limited because of the cape and the turban and whatnot. But and then of course the arms that I have in are not articulated really, but they just lock into the shoulders. But you got rotation at the shoulders. And then, of course, at the waist, he can look left, he can look right, he can crunch forward, he can crunch backward with limitations to the cape. And then, of course, at his upper thigh here, he can kick forward, he can kick backward, of course, limitations of the cape. You can pull those joints down to get a little more range of movement out of him and then push him back up. He does have, I don't know if you would call them double jointed knees, but, he does have a bend at the knees. And then, of course, at the ankles, he has a ball joint, so you can get all kinds of rotations and pivots out of that. And then he has toe articulation. So, good range of articulation, pretty much what you would expect from the Tamashii line of articulated figures, whether it's Dragon Ball Z, Gundam, Godzilla, you name it. Pretty much everything that we've grown to expect from them. Very nicely detailed figures, very nicely articulated. Now I'm having trouble getting him to stand. He was standing perfectly. Now I got to mess with him a little bit more. There we go. But and I don't really have any other SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z figures to size him up against because, again, I'm not really far. I don't really dig deep into that line. I'm more or less of the SH Figuarts Zero figures, which are the statues. But I just figured I'd pick this guy up since he was $40, get a little thing of paint for a couple more bucks, and boom, I got a nice Piccolo. So without further ado, you guys, that is about it on this figure review of the SH Figuarts Piccolo. Hope you enjoyed my review, and like always, we are Godzilla Fan Freaks. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next figure review. Thank you for watching.